Hey everybody, it's Audrey. I am super excited to share this video with you today because I am guest designing for Pink Paislee this week. They have a spring break theme going on the blog this week, and I was sent the Oh My Heart collection by Paige Evans, and I got to use that to make a whole bunch of spring break projects. So I am so excited, and thanks to Pink Paislee for having me as a guest designer. So I have a couple videos coming up that I will share this week for the layouts that I did. So I first picked out a couple spring break photos, and I have one of my favorite pieces of paper in this collection is the piece of paper that has like the circles on it that kind of look like the Venn diagram. So that piece of paper right there on the right. And I did a page using that same piece of paper a couple weeks ago, but I was inspired by the actual design. So I'm going to mimic the shape of those circles as the main design of my page. So I printed a photo that's about, I think it was like 4.5 inches, maybe 5 inches, and I used a circle template to cut it out in a circle shape, and I used the same template to cut out a circle from a piece of pattern paper. And now I'm just quickly drawing. You can see I took a piece of scrap paper and overlapped the circles there. I want to get that little wedge piece or that little pod shaped piece in the middle there because I want to cut out a different piece of pattern paper for the overlapping circle so that it looks like the two circles are overlapping. And it's amazing how just that one little piece of paper makes it look so different. So, you can see how the photo is overlapping the piece of pattern paper right now. But when I put this little wedge over it, it really makes it look like the two circles are joined. So I love how that looks. So overall, this is kind of a relatively simple page. I'm just going to focus on, again, using this design. So I'm going to go fussy cut out a couple more of these circles. And the last time I used these circles, I cut them out like this and then folded them in half to make kind of like scallop shapes, but I'm going to use the full circle shapes here. And it was really hard to go through this piece of pattern paper, and I was trying to get all of the colors because I wanted to, have all the colors represented on the page, but I couldn't actually do it and not have too many circles, so I just had to pick a few of the colors, I guess. So I'm just going to stick with those, and those kind of take up a majority of the design. I'm just going to kind of focus the design down the middle. Now I also have the 6x6 paper pack, and what I love about using a 6x6 paper pack along with the 12x12 is that you can get the same designs, like these circles, but in a much smaller scale. So it really can add a lot of interest to your page when you use both the 12x12 and the 6x6 of the same pattern, and just because of the smaller scale. So I love being able to do that, and I do that with a couple other of my future projects. You'll see how I also use both the 12x12 and 6x6 papers of the same design. So that's pretty much how I'm going to lay out my circles, and I'm not going to really add too much more because I think it's, with the design and the colors already, I think it's kind of busy, so I'm not going to add too much more to the page. Now, I have here on the left the 12x12 paper pad, which comes with, and I think this is so awesome, the 12x12 paper pad has die cuts in it, so it has full sheets of white die cut shapes. And again, I'll use another one on another page, but I liked this ampersand, and I thought, kind of like with a Venn diagram, the middle part is where they overlap and like share characteristics or traits. I thought an ampersand would be good in there, but that one was just a little too big, and I thought it took away from the colored paper in the background there, so I didn't use that white die cut one. All right, so I'm just going through some of the embellishments and looking for things to add. I'm trying to find kind of, because this is a spring break and kind of vacation photo, I'm looking for little things to add that can be, like not necessarily summery, but fun. So the sunglasses are gonna be a part of that, and they have, it's hard to see in the video here, but they have like that foiled, that kind of, it's almost like a rose gold foil over them. So I wanted to bring in a few more of the foiled elements. So I used one of the little phrases at the top and a little metallic flower down at the bottom. That's from the chipboard sheet. Again, here's another piece of paper that I'm using, the 6x6 version, the one with all the letters on it, and the C and the K. But the C I don't know if you can tell, the letter C, which is on the layout right now, was on the top of the page, and I had to, it was cut off a little bit, so I had to cut it out in a circle shape instead of leaving the scallops on. So that's what I'm doing here with that K and that C, just trimming them down so it's a circular edge and not a scalloped edge. And I like that those colors went perfect with the two colors I had on those circles already. They kind of blend into those circles. I'm going to start gluing things down because I know I want to do a little bit of mist splattering on the background. So I'm going to get my photo in large circle set up there. My goal for that large circle was the one next to the photo, was to use it as a place for journaling and my title and maybe, a little embellishment cluster. So that's why I left it so big like that. And then the other ones I'm just going to kind of, add a few little embellishments here and there. So this is a picture from last February. So like I said, it's spring break theme week this week on the Pink Paislee blog. And we actually have 2 breaks, our school district. We have a break in February, a week-long break, and then a week in April as well. So this was actually our February break. So not necessarily spring break, but a break nonetheless. I'll take it. So we go to Florida almost every year to visit the kid's grandma who lives near Tampa. And we were on a beach picking shells, and it was just a beautiful day, and it was a little fun boat trip we took. So, and I liked this photo in black and white. It was a lot of colors otherwise, but I liked the black and white with these busy colors in these papers. So I've just gone through and pulled out a couple chipboard hearts and flowers, and you can see I also stitched over those circles, just kind of back and forth stitching. And like I said, I felt I needed a couple more like summery kind of embellishments. And so I cut out a sun shape. I think the sun is from the Just Knit store. And I cut it out in different sizes because I wasn't sure what size I was going to use and where exactly I was going to put it. And then I was playing around with a couple other circular pieces to kind of overlap in my photo. And I don't know, I have this weird thing about not overlapping a ton of stuff on my photo because I like to be able to see the photo. And I say that now, and then I go back and actually put part of the title over the photo. But yeah, I just didn't like the way visually that some of those things looked up there in the top of the photo. So I'm gonna take that off. And I had that little puffy phrase sticker that said the good life up there, and I loved the contrast of the yellow on that kind of periwinkle paper. But I also really like these stickers. So I tried to pick out all the yellow stickers, and I didn't really, they were kind of a lighter yellow. Then I decided maybe I should mix up the colors a little bit. So putting the colorful letters on there, I think, was a lot more fun than just the plain yellow. And I'm just going to find a little bit more bits. Oh, so I didn't use that white ampersand, but then I looked over and saw on the chipboard piece that little metallic ampersand, and it fit perfectly right in that little wedge spot there. So I'm glad I found that, and I like how that fits in there. And there's me putting some more of the letters over my photo. So that's not too bad. That doesn't take away from the photo too much, but I don't know, something about having something overlap the edge of the photo just bugged me a little bit on this page. This is kind of a really simple page for me. I don't have too many embellishments on here, but I love the design, so I'm letting the design speak on this page. So I just went through and added a couple splatters in teal and a sea foam, I think that's what that color is, as well. And then on the right there, you can see I have a bottle of what are called the Nouveau drops, and they kind of make like enamel shapes. Well, it hardens like an enamel dot. So it's kind of like a puffy paint, really. And I just put these right on my page. Some people I know make them like on a piece of plastic and then pop them off and glue them on, but I'm just doing it right on my page. And I do make sure to let it dry a little while before I move it around too much. So there's my finished page. And you can see I added a circle piece of vellum over the journaling area and journaled on that, and then stitched around the 2 large circles as well. So there's some close-ups, kind of simple, but really fun design. I loved using the inspiration from this piece of pattern paper for my layout design. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out the Pink Paislee blog, and you can see all my projects for this week. Stay scrappy, friends. Thanks.